Something seismic is going on in the polls because Reform UK is now ahead of the Tories in every major poll for the first time. This is a story in the Telegraph this morning. Reform UK has pulled ahead of the Conservatives in every major poll for the very first time. In 7 of the latest surveys of voting intention by the major pollsters, Nigel Farage's party is ahead of the Conservatives by at least 1 point. They have added, this is the Find Out Now poll. So as you can see, Reform UK on 27, 6 points ahead of the Conservatives. Labour on 23, according to that poll. Lib Dems nowhere to be seen at 11, and the Greens at 10. The party is actually, if you remember, at the general election, it won 14.3% of the popular vote, got 5 seats, which shows the idiocies of our electoral system. But anyway, since then, they've added 10 points to their support. The Conservatives are static where they are. What's going on, Monica?
Yeah, well, you know, again, look at that. You know, they say that Labour is still ahead in the aggregate poll of polls, but the government's popularity has collapsed. Well, we know it has. You know, it has. There's no doubt about it. And you know, exactly. We don't need a poll to know that. And you know, and the government is now drawing up plans to fight the Reform Party. You know, well, yeah, I think you should. You know, again, I think people are disillusioned. I think that people were expecting something better of the Labour Party, and I think all they've got is Keir Starmer. So is it the Labour Party or is it the leader that's... Well,
that's what I asked exactly that question yesterday, and people came back saying it's both, actually. It's a lack of direction, it's a lack of transparency, it's no policies, and the policies they do have are the policies we don't want.
And also, is it a lack of just you know, credibility? You know, who are these people that are in the Labour Party who've got these very important positions? Are they competent and qualified to do that position? You know, you have to be...
I think short answer is no.
Yeah, well, you have to be... it's like anything. It's like take a job, look at the CV. You know, are they qualified and able to take on this role? It's a very important role. And I just think, again, you know, going back to what we were saying earlier before the break, I think it's really horrible for the young that they must be becoming disillusioned with politics. If you were a young person, you think, oh, I'm not going to go into politics. Okay. And I think that's a great shame.
So I do. Let me just tell you very quickly about an investigation that Labour is facing, or a potential investigation. There is indirect funding from the EU whilst it was in opposition. This is another incredible story. The Electoral Commission is looking at a donation to an affiliated Labour organisation as a potential regulatory concern. This is a donation from the Foundation for European Progressive Studies, a branch of the Party of European Socialists, which went to the Labour-linked Fabian Society. There was a 30,000 quid donation that was given. They have been fined, by the way, by the European Union for what they have been doing, as far as I can see. And the question is, what happened here? And also, just in terms of our electoral law, you do have to declare anything over £500 to members' associations. They must come from permissible sources, and you need to also report anything over 11,180. There are big questions here about what went on, and of course, just bearing in mind, Labour actively campaiggned against Donald Trump in the United States.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So 30k, I'm still reeling from that fact.
Just to be clear, and I just want to be very careful here, the Authority for European Political Parties and European Political Foundations levied a 30,000 fine against the FEPS for this breach. I mean, it is extraordinary that the Labour Party could be under investigation in the first place.
And it's only, how long have they been in power?
Not very
7
long.
months? 7 months? Is
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
7 years.
I think you definitely need a cup of tea and a shortbread this morning if you're waking up to these lovely newspapers this morning.
I definitely do. Loads of you getting in touch this morning. Tony, good morning to you. 5 years of Labour will finish the UK. There will be nothing left here. The money, the brains, they're all heading abroad. Keep all of those messages coming in, please. Chris Phillips says the UK is now the soft touch of Europe when it comes to migration, when Keir Starmer is actually going to make it easier for illegal migrants to stay here. Also, they don't believe that you should test people who say they are a child as to whether they are an adult. I'll tell you what, why don't we give them loads of money? Why don't we allow them to have homes and be in schools and all the rest of it? It's absolute nonsense.